A northern Mississippi school district, will not be hosting a high school prom this spring after a lesbian student asked to attend with her girlfriend and wear a tuxedo. The Itawamba County School District, it's fun to say it with me, Itawamba, decided Wednesday to drop the prom because of what it called recent distractions, but didn't specifically mention the girl's request, which was backed by the American Civil Liberties Union. The student, 18-year-old high school senior Constance McMillan, said it was retaliation for her efforts to bring her girlfriend, also a student, to the April 2nd dance. Well, obviously it is. It clearly is. School policy requires senior prom dates be of the opposite sex. The ACLU of Mississippi has given the district until Wednesday to change that policy, and then they're going to sue them. District officials also said in the statement, "It is our hope that private citizens will organize an event for the juniors and seniors. However, at this time, we feel it is in the best interest of the Itawamba County School District after taking into consideration the education, safety, and well-being of our students." Let's see, anything else interesting? It's a rural county of about 23,000 people in North Mississippi near the Alabama state line. The entire county is 23,000 people. Let's see. Until a decade ago, they had Bible classes in school. Well, there's nothing wrong with Bible classes in school, in my opinion. It's the most read piece of literature in the history of Homo sapiens. Phone number is 1-866-331-TALK. To the phone we go. It's Samantha in Petaluma. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's up?
So the reason they had to ask for approval is because the girl that wanted to bring her girlfriend was a senior. Her girlfriend's a sophomore. The prom's only for junior and seniors. If they want to bring a sophomore, they have to ask.
So
she could have gotten somebody else to bring her girlfriend, but she just wanted to say, hey, this is my girlfriend. Can I bring her? And they said no.
Well, it's her girlfriend, though. She could have gotten somebody else to bring her girlfriend as a date, you mean?
She could have gotten some guy, a junior or senior guy, to bring the sophomore girl. But since she wanted to bring a sophomore girl, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, okay. But they're not, the school district isn't claiming no sophomores.
Yeah, the sophomores are not allowed to go unless they're brought by a junior.
Well, right, I get that. So that's not their claim. Oh, okay. All right, Samantha, that's interesting. Thanks. Well, that explains why she had to ask permission. Here's Carol in Orangeville. Hi, Carol. How are you?
Hi. My take on this is that anyone who goes all the way to the ACLU has some kind of motive for what they're doing besides just innocence, I want to go to a dance.
Well, yeah, she's probably pissed off. She's probably angry.
She's not just this quiet girl who doesn't want attention. You want attention when you go to that extent.
Well, you're certainly willing to take it, but can't you just, put yourself in her position for a minute. She watches TV, she reads, she's on the internet, she thinks, look, I'm gay, I got a girlfriend, and we want to go to prom together. And then she goes to the district, and in defiance of federal law, according to everybody, the district said, no, you can't. That'd make you mad.
Yeah, so then you keep going. So the innocence isn't there that you're saying she's just a young girl.
No. If it's in defiance of all federal law, Carol, they wouldn't let you in because, what color's your hair?
My hair is dark brown.
To cite a particularly ridiculous example. So they say, no, we're not going to let you in because of your dark hair. You would say, oh, okay.
Yeah, but you're talking in a fundamental area with 20,000 in the county. You've got a different environment than California.
Yeah, I understand that, but this girl is aware of the fact that they have no basis for excluding her. What you're saying is that, what I'm trying to explain to you is, she didn't want any attention to begin with, but when the school district gave her the finger, she thought, oh yeah? And she went to the principal, then the superintendent. Well, wait a second. She went to the principal, then the superintendent, then the school board, and then the ACLU.
And who's behind her? She's just a young 17-year-old girl looking for her rights. I think it's stronger than that.
All right. Thanks for the call. Nice to talk to you. Now I'm going to argue with my coffee mug. Coffee mug? What I'm trying to tell you is that she, step by step, got as little attention as was possible. I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I think she's just an activist. No, what I'm trying to tell you is she just appealed up the ladder, and it ended up with the ACLU, who are frequently, by the way, full of crap. But sometimes they're right. Here's Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Oh, hey. Yeah, my son, he was a bit shy when he was in high school, and he went to the dance where the girl asked the guy, I think it's Sadie Hawkins.
Yeah.
And I was excited for him because I always had a great time in high school going to the dances. And
can you dance, Mike? Are you a dancer?
Oh, I think I can dance good.
No, I can't. See, I can't. There's a reason I play guitar. It's because I can't dance.
It was just fun. And so he went, and I was proud. I was excited. The next morning I saw him, and I said, "Did you have a good time?" He said, "Yeah, it was pretty good." And I said, "What's with the wristband?" He's like, "Oh, you get those cut off if you're dirty dancing." And I said, "Well, good. I'm glad you kept yours." And he said, "No, you start with 2." So I'm like, "Oh, high five. You're doing a little." But anyway, so I said, "Are you going to go to another one?" He said, "No." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Well, we have this thing in our school called the Gay Alliance, and there was guys slow dancing and kissing, and it just grossed me out. And I said, I'm really disgusted, and I don't need to go to those anymore." So,
wow, guys slow dancing and kissing at high school dances? I didn't know that happened.
It was totally disgusting, and that's just my personal opinion, and I've always raised them. You know, I never used the word gay or homo or bash anything. They just came upon it on their own as part of, just going to being out there.
Yeah.
And so for this to be going on in Mississippi, I mean, yeah, the girl's pushing an agenda, and that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm sure she would have caused a huge scene had she shown up in a tux with her girlfriend. I mean, people would have been like, "What the heck?"
Yeah,
and that's just the way life is.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of sympathy for her because what she was asking, I don't think is unreasonable. And if you make a reasonable request and somebody tells you no,
it's also reasonable to think you can walk down certain streets at night and not be attacked. But guess what? It's going to happen. And she put herself at risk by
being a lesbian
and pushing this. Yeah, I mean, look what happened to the person I don't know the exact dates, but the person that got killed for being gay in Montana. That it happened.
Well,
so why would you push that? Why would you push that agenda?
All right, thanks. Thanks for the call, Mike. The stuff about the slow dancing was cool, but I don't understand. How can you not get it? How can you not get why she's quote pushing it? She asked for something perfectly legitimate, even though in that area it ain't cool, and I get that. Trust me, I've spent plenty of time down there. She asked for something that there was no basis on which to deny her. For which there was no basis to deny her, and was denied and asked why. I think that's great. Maybe you don't like the gays. Maybe you vote. I don't care. Maybe you read the book of Leviticus and you don't want the gays. And yeah, I know it's in the New Testament too. I don't understand how you can't get that she asked for something reasonable and they told her no, and she wasn't going to take no for an answer because it was unreasonable. Maybe it's just because my personality type, if I ask for a day off work for a perfectly legitimate reason and somebody says no to me, I'm not going to say, "Oh, okay," and slink off. I'm going to challenge it. And if that person says, "No, forget it, it's over," I'm going above their head. I'm going to challenge it and challenge it and challenge it until justice, or at least my perception of justice, prevails. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi, or marrying dogs. I don't understand you people who are arguing that she should just say okay to what she perceives as an injustice. Take your calls in a moment. Stay tuned. Listen, I'm not going to pander to you people because you believe a certain thing. In the immortal words of Ricky Nelson, I'd rather drive a truck. This is the Armstrong and Getty Show.